Hello and welcome again. Welcome to class 257. We're progressing in the number of the classes, but not in the pages. I'm taking my time. We're still at the bottom of page 253. Yes, but don't worry. We have covered everything that is, in my opinion, essential for speaking English well. But there are many interesting things here. Many. And so I'm going to continue expanding on anything. Just one word, we can talk for 10 minutes. Because if I choose one word, for example, in yesterday's class, we were talking about retirement. Remember jubilación, retirement? And I was talking about retiring. I spent about 3 or 4 minutes talking about the word retirement and the verb to retire. However, in those 3 or 4 minutes, I probably said 500 words, all connected in correct grammar and correct syntax. And that's good for your ear, and it's good for your assimilation in general. So the word retire or retirement in this book is really a pretext. Of course, I'm teaching the verb to retire and the word and the noun retirement, but that's not the most important aspect. The aspect is for me to speak to you, talk, use English, using a lot of different vocabulary and a lot of different structures, talking about retirement. All right, let's finish our list. This is the third day we're on list number 28. So, recomendar, to recommend. Oye, mira, recomiéndame un restaurante. Traduce eso. Recommend a restaurant. Bueno, en inglés diríamos, can you recommend a restaurant? Claro, no he dicho a mí, pero es implícito, se entiende. Can you recommend a restaurant? ¿Qué restaurante? Oye, de estos restaurantes, ¿cuál me recomiendas? Of these restaurants, which one do you recommend? Fíjate que no digo recommend me. Es incorrecto en inglés. Y suena mal, además, suena raro. Recommend me. No. Está errado. Recommend. Of these, look, 1, 2, 3, these 4 restaurants, which one do you recommend? I recommend Casa Ricardo. You recommend Casa Ricardo? Why? Because my name's Richard. It's un tocayo. Yeah. He's my namesake, so I recommend Casa Ricardo. And besides, the morcilla is very good, very famous. Yes. So, what do you recommend? Recommendation, revisar, to review. Repasar, to review. Yes, comprobar, to review, to check, to look over, to look through, to go over. There may be 5 different verbs for the concept of comprobar, verificar, también en español. Chequear se dice. In Mexico, checar a veces. Strange. Now, ojo. To revise. Claro, revisar. Mira, lo voy a revisar y luego lo envío. I'm going to review it and then send it. I'm going to review it and then send it. Revise, no. This is to revise is a false friend. El concepto del amigo falso, que crees que sabes porque es la misma palabra en español. Revisar, to revise, revisión, revision, but they have different meanings. Be careful, because to revise means to change, to modify. If I give you, for example, if I give you a letter, say, here, can you check this? He said, and if you say, yes, Richard, no problem, I'll revise it. I said, don't revise it. Check it. If there's a mistake, I'll revise it. Revise is modificar. Y revisión, revision, in English, is modificación, cambio. He hecho algunos cambios aquí. I've made some revisions. So be careful. El verbo revisar en español is to review or to check, to look over, to look through, to go over. To look through is, to look through, I'm looking through. It's muy somero. It's not very, it's superficial. I'm looking through the book. I'm looking over is more, yes, I'm reviewing, checking, one page by page. And to go over is word by word. It's very conscientious, muy concienzudo. It's very conscientious, very thorough when you go over something. I'll go over it. But to review is revisar, to review. And a review, a review is different. A review is una crítica de cine, crítica de teatro. That's a review. Una crítica de una actuación. And so we say to get good reviews. All right, viajar is to travel. To travel. To travel is viajar. I like to travel. I have traveled a lot in my life. This year I haven't traveled anywhere important. Well, yes, I've traveled to Valencia. I've traveled to Burgos. These are important places. But interesting long trips, no, I haven't traveled anywhere. Travel es un verbo, no es un sustantivo. Bueno, ojo. Los viajes de Gulliver, Gulliver's Travels. En el plural, de forma más literaria, pues my travels. Yes. But un viaje is a trip or a journey. Trip is the most common word. Journey is also a bit more poetic. A journey. A journey is a bit more expressive. It's a long journey. Oh, a sentimental journey. I'm going to take a sentimental journey home. I'm going to take a long trip. To take a trip. Hacer un viaje is to take a trip. Yes, take a trip. And when you take a trip, you travel. So really, the only time we use travel as a noun is in the book Gulliver's Travels. Otherwise, you say trip, a trip. And viajar is to travel. Do you like to travel? I like to travel. But, Richard, do you prefer to travel in Europe or in the States? Both. I like to travel in both places. I really like to travel in the States. The distances are very long, but there's less traffic than in Europe. In Europe, there's more traffic density in Europe than in the United States. So I like to travel in the States because many times I'm alone. To travel, esta noche, tonight. No digas this night, por favor. Last night, anoche. Tonight, esta noche. Now, in Spain, in Latin America, no, but in Spain, people say esta noche refiriéndose a la noche que acaba de terminar. Uy, ¿qué te pasa? No, es que he dormido mal esta noche. Eso se oye en España mucho. En inglés, ¿qué te pasó hoy? Dormí mal anoche. I didn't sleep well. I slept poorly last night. I didn't get a good night's sleep. I didn't sleep well last night. Last night. So anoche is last night. O esta noche que acaba de terminar is last night. Siempre last night. Always last night. Y la noche que viene is tonight. Tonight. O la noche cuando ya estamos. Tonight. Te veo bien esta noche. For example, if you come to my party, you ring the doorbell. Ding dong, I open the door. Ah, Jennifer, wow, you look nice tonight. Yes, tonight, the light of love is in your eyes. Tonight. But will you love me tomorrow? Tonight. Yes, that's Carole King from 1970. Yes, she says, esta noche la luz del amor está en tus ojos, pero me amarás mañana. Tonight, the light of love is in your eyes. But will you love me tomorrow? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? That's her problem, not my problem, and not your problem. Okay, tonight. Yes, tonight. Esta noche. Tráfico, traffic, traffic, traffic. Transito, they say in Mexico a lot. There's a lot of traffic in this city. What city has the worst traffic in the world? I have no idea. Maybe Kinshasa in the Congo. Maybe Mexico City has the worst traffic in the world. Maybe Bogota, Colombia. Maybe Cairo, Egypt has the worst traffic. Maybe Istanbul. Maybe Beijing. Eh? Yes, the traffic in Beijing is terrible. The traffic in Cairo is terrible. Maybe Tokyo. I don't know. The worst traffic? In my experience, the worst traffic, I think, was in Beijing. I've been to Beijing, China 3 times. And normally I sleep in the taxis because it's at least 1 hour. I sleep in the taxis. So the traffic is very bad and the pollution is very bad. Traffic, yes, a traffic jam. Se enseña mucho traffic jam para atasco. I usually teach heavy traffic or traffic congestion. For example, in this city, Madrid, the capital of Spain, in the morning starting at 6:30, traffic comes in from the communities around Madrid. And the traffic is always very heavy. But I don't say traffic jam. I say heavy traffic or the typical traffic congestion. For me, the word traffic jam is a momentary, localized thing. At a certain intersection, if the traffic lights stop working, it creates a traffic jam. Un atasco puntual en un lugar puntual. That's a traffic jam for me. Now, Madrid es un atasco entero cada día en las horas punta. Madrid, the traffic is always very heavy during the rush hour. The rush hour. Lo decimos en singular, the rush hour. Bueno, en plural, sí. There's a rush hour in the morning and a rush hour in the afternoon, evening. So those are the rush hours. Yes. But in the morning, the rush hour. In this city, the rush hour is between 7 and 9 or 7 and 9:30. The rush hour. And in the afternoons or evenings, the rush hour, the traffic is heavy. I would say between 6 p.m. and 7:30, 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. The traffic is quite heavy. There's a lot of traffic congestion in those times, except on Friday. On Fridays, the afternoon rush hour changes, and it's from about 3 to 4:30. People go home early. People leave their jobs early on Friday. Logical. To go home for the weekend. And so the traffic is heavy earlier in the afternoon than on Monday to Thursday. All right, traffic. And finally, trip. I'm going to take a trip. I'm going to take a trip next week. Really? Are you really going to take a trip? Yes, I'm going to travel next week. Where are you going to go? I'm going to take a trip from the Earth to the moon. Really? Wow, cool. How? On a rocket ship. Really? Yes, I'm going to take a rocket ship to the moon. I'm going to take a trip to the moon. Yes. Really? Yes. Fly me to the moon and let me, etc. I don't know the words to the song. But to the moon, to take a trip, a trip, a trip. Also a trip on LSD, but I don't recommend it. To take a trip, all right, finally. New page, are you ready? Oh my God, regular verbs, third column. No, third column. Every day I accept. Yesterday I accepted. Every day I accept my fate. Recuerda la palabra fate. Que es mi destino. Acepto mi sino, mi destino. Every day I accept my fate. Yesterday I accepted my fate. Every day I eliminate extra objects. If there are any objects on this table, I eliminate them. Every day I eliminate at least one object. This. Yesterday I eliminated several objects. And lately I've eliminated a lot of objects. Every day I hate teaching the simple past. Yesterday I hated teaching the simple past, and I have always hated teaching the simple past. Really, to hate. I hate green peppers. Pimientos verdes. I've always hated green peppers. Ever since I tried green peppers, I've hated them. Now, many people love green peppers. Yeah, in fact, I think most people. I think I'm in the minority. But I hate green peppers, and I have always hated green peppers. Yeah, who invented the telephone? Well, Alexander Graham Bell officially invented the telephone. And Richard, what have you invented? Me? In my life? What have I invented? I haven't invented any. I've invented some silly stories. But no, I've never invented anything physical. I'm not an inventor. Now, I've developed things. I've created things. I've developed things, and I've created things. But I've never invented anything. I've written books. I've published books. But I've never invented anything. Has your wife ever invented anything? As far as I know, she has. To my knowledge, as far as I know, she's never invented anything. To invent. When you invent something, you need to get a patent, to take out a patent. Se dice take out, sacar un patente. The British say patent. Patent. Yes, patent. Patent. Whichever you prefer. Patent. Patent leather. Patent leather. Interesting. That's charol. Como los tricornios de la Guardia Civil están hechos de charol. That's patent leather or patent leather. Yes, patent leather. So, I've never decided, well, I make decisions every day. Every day I make decisions. Every day I decide about something important. Yesterday I decided to come here today. I did. I said, well, tomorrow, I don't feel like teaching English tomorrow. I had a dilemma yesterday. I had a problem. Yeah, I was depressed. And I said, I don't feel like teaching English anymore. I don't feel like no me apetece ya anymore. No tengo ganas. No me apetece. I don't feel like teaching English anymore. I'm tired of teaching. But I have a responsibility to you. So yesterday, in spite of my depression, I decided to get up and come here. Yes. And every day I have made the same decision. Every day I've decided to do the same thing. Yes. Marta and I yesterday lifted this table and moved it over there. Every day we lift this table, and every day we move it over there. And I don't know how many times have we lifted this table, Marta, and moved it over there? I think my God, this is class number, 256, 7? What is it? I think we've lifted this table more than 250 times. And we've moved it over there over 250 times. More than or over? Más de, más que. Over 250 times. All right. It's expanded, pointed. I point at you often, but I didn't point at you yesterday, and I didn't point at myself. How many times in your opinion, have I pointed at myself? How many times have I pointed at you? How many times have I pointed at the ceiling in this course since last January? You know, I think maybe I pointed at the ceiling only once or twice. How many times have I pointed at the mirror? I've mentioned the mirror many times, but maybe I've pointed at the mirror maybe 5 times since the beginning of this course. Yes. How many times have I pointed at the buildings behind me? I don't think I've pointed. Fíjate, en español se dice, creo que no he señalado. En inglés se dice, no creo que haya señalado. Siempre entramos con creo en el negativo cuando es no creo. I don't think I've pointed at the building specifically. I pointed with my thumb, yeah, but I've never pointed with my index finger. It's difficult. The buildings behind me. How many times have I pointed at you with both hands? How many times have I pointed at myself? Have I pointed at myself with both hands? Have I ever shouted at you? Yes. Richard, yeah. Do you shout at me every day? No, I don't shout at you every day. Did you shout at me yesterday? No, I didn't shout at you yesterday. When was the last time you shouted at me? I've never shouted at you. Yes, you have. No, I haven't. Yes, you have. When? You shouted at me about 100 classes ago. Hace 100 clases. You said, yes. You said, you have to make a stronger effort. Did I? Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Okay, maybe I was illustrating or demonstrating the verb to shout, but I wasn't really shouting at you. Well, it made an impact. You shouted at me. Okay. Shouted. Richard, yes. Did you waste any time yesterday? Yes, I did. I wasted some time yesterday. I waste time every day. I'm a bit lazy. Soy un poco vago. I'm a bit lazy, which means I waste time often. Yesterday I wasted probably half an hour at least of potentially productive time. Yeah. And I've wasted time every day of my life. You know, if I add up, fíjate que digo add up. Si voy sumando, to add is añadir o sumar, pero sumar como una operación matemática. Pero ir sumando números is to add up. To add up. If I add up all the time in my life that I have wasted, I would have at least 10 extra years in my life. So I've wasted a lot of time. But you know, maybe it's necessary. Productivity requires moments of improductivity. Huh? So I think I've wasted time. For example, if I'm working on my computer for 2 hours, sometimes I'll stop and play Space Invaders, or I'll play solitaire, and I'll waste 10 minutes or 15 minutes playing solitaire, jugando a solitario, on the computer. I'm taking a break. It's not really wasting time. I'm not really wasting time, but it's not really productive time. Or is it productive? Is taking a break productive? Maybe it is, because it prepares you for a new period of productivity. So I don't waste time. I didn't waste time yesterday. I've never wasted time. Yes. Richard, do you like to wait? No, I don't like to wait. Do you like to wait? Yeah. It's interesting, wait is a negative verb because really nobody likes to wait, you see. Expect, yes. Expect es esperar con fundamento que algo va a pasar. Bueno o malo, I expect. I expect to be here tomorrow. Espero estar aquí mañana. I hope to be here. Rezo que pueda estar mañana. Yeah, I expect. Did you expect, when you were 17, did you expect to become an English teacher? No, I didn't expect to become an English teacher. I expected to become, I didn't expect anything. I never make plans for the future. The future happens. Yes. Yeah. I think it was John Lennon said, the future is what happens to you while you're making other plans. Okay. El futuro es lo que te pasa mientras estás haciendo otros planes, more or less. And in English we say, if you want God to laugh at you, tell him your plans. Yeah. So it's quite pessimistic. Si quieres que Dios se ríe de ti, cuéntale tus planes de futuro. Because plans always change. Even Mike Tyson, you remember the boxer? He said, every boxer has a perfect plan until the other boxer hits him in the nose. And then your plans begin to change, sometimes dramatically. And I have plans. I have plans to continue teaching you English starting tomorrow. See you.